All right, let's talk fintech. But, maybe not in the way you're used to thinking about it. We're not just going to list a bunch of apps. Instead, we're going to dive into this really powerful way of seeing how fintech actually creates value. And it all starts by looking at it, well, in a completely new way.
Yeah, check out this quote. I love this because it completely reframes the whole conversation, right? FinTech is a digital organism. So think about that for a second. It's not just a machine. It's like this living, breathing thing. It starts as an idea in someone's head, and then it lives and grows on servers, adapting to everything around it. This whole idea of a digital organism, that's going to be the key to unlocking everything we talk about today.
Okay, so if it's an organism, how does it operate? Well, this right here, this is basically the blueprint. The whole game for fintech is this continuous cycle of what we're calling reinterpretation. And we're going to break this down into three big parts. First, we'll look at the core engine, what makes it tick. Then we'll see how it connects to the outside world, the market. And finally, we'll talk about what fuels the whole thing. Let's get into it.
All right, first up, the self-sustaining core. Let's start right at the heart of it, with the engine. This is the internal loop that, gets a fintech idea off the ground and keeps it humming.
So what's really cool about this engine is how simple it is at its core. It's just this perpetual loop, and it really only has 3 steps. You start with a brilliant idea, right? Some new, faster, better way to do a financial thing. That idea then gets built into an innovative product. And here's the magic part. As people use that product, it spits out new data. And that data feeds right back into the beginning, helping you come up with even better ideas and make the product even smarter. It's this beautiful self-improving cycle that just keeps going and going.
But okay, let's be real. A self-contained engine is cool and all, but it's basically just a curiosity, right? It's like a genius invention stuck in a garage just talking to itself. So how does it actually get out there and, change the world?
Well, that brings us to our second big piece, interpreting the financial world. This is all about how that core engine actually connects to the market and starts making some noise.
And this is where that whole reinterpretation idea really clicks into place. See how this bigger external cycle wraps around that little engine we just talked about? The thing is, fintechs don't usually invent totally new things out of thin air. What they're brilliant at is taking in all this external data and using it to transform financial products that already exist. They're taking what's out there and just reinterpreting it to make it way better, faster, or easier for you and me to use.
And to do that, you need one foundational skill. The engine has to be able to take in just massive amounts of messy, raw, external data and somehow turn it all into what you see here, actionable intelligence. Thar and Stein pointed this out perfectly. This ability to find the hidden gems, the real insights in huge piles of data, that's the superpower behind pretty much every big opportunity in fintech.
So you've got these 2 cycles, and it's absolutely crucial to see how they work together. Think of it like this. That internal cycle is the core reactor. It's super fast, it's agile, and it's always using its own data to make the product better. But the external cycle, that's the market interpreter. It's the part that looks outward, that drinks in all that external data to make the product actually relevant and valuable to the rest of the world. One is about product evolution, the other is about market innovation. You need both.
Okay, so we've got this amazing dual cycle engine, but an engine can't run on nothing, right? It needs fuel. And for a fintech engine, that fuel is data. So the big question is, where does all that data come from? Well, that digital organism we talked about, it doesn't live in a bubble. It actually thrives on partnerships with a whole ecosystem of stakeholders. And there are 3 main groups that provide that essential data fuel. You've got the banks, you've got governments, and then you have the rest of the private sector. Let's start with the most obvious one, partnering with banks. So by plugging into the data and the systems of these big traditional banks, fintechs can just dramatically improve the core stuff we use every day. They can totally rethink how we make payments, use different kinds of data to make smarter lending decisions, or open up investing to way more people. It all comes back to that key idea, reinterpreting foundational financial services. All right, next up is a data source that is just massive in scale, leveraging government data. I mean, think about it. Governments are huge collectors of financial data. So they can provide access to incredible data sets on things like taxes, social security, and nationwide payment systems. And this lets fintech companies build really cool, innovative tools that can help all of us. Stuff that makes filing taxes less of a headache or even helps build models to predict where the economy is going. And finally, our third source, collaborating with the private sector. This is where we get into the whole world of embedded finance. And this is where fintech really starts to disappear into our daily lives. By partnering with companies in, say, e-commerce or travel or even healthcare, fintechs can weave financial services right into those experiences. Like when you get offered a buy now, pay later option at checkout or insurance when you're booking a flight. That's embedded finance. It makes the money part of the experience totally seamless, almost invisible.
Okay, so we've got the core engine, we've got the external interface, and we've got the fuel sources. Let's put it all together now and see what the complete innovation loop looks like. And there you have it, the whole shebang. So you see, fintech isn't really a thing so much as it is this living, breathing process. It all starts with that brilliant idea at the core. It grows by reinterpreting products and services from the world around it, and it's fueled by data from this entire ecosystem, from banks, governments, and private companies. And what you get at the end is this engine of continuous transformation, constantly creating financial services that are better, faster, and just woven more deeply into our lives.
So that's the fintech operating cycle. It's this digital organism that is constantly learning, constantly evolving, which really just leaves us with one big question to chew on. If data is the fuel and this cycle is the engine, what part of our world do you think it's going to reinterpret next?